gentlemen, you're watching ECLECTICKA. I am Michael 7. Michael, we've got CC the Greek, we've got Drew, and we've got Sensei Vegan, a.k.a. Charles. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
All right.
As we always start a show,
Okay.
tell them why you're mad, Drew.
Oh, my thing is Charles, you and I today, we tend to agree when it comes to our
not
taste
today.
and stuff like that.
Not
Today, I hit you up earlier. I'm like, we're just gonna have to go toe to toe and disagree at this point.
This is like Office Space. This is the last straw.
Apparently, man, but today we're just gonna have to be like, all right, I'm walking in ready to disagree with you. I just now need to know precisely why and to what degree. So let's go first.
Quite a few things.
Let's go first.
So, if you haven't seen Logan, spoiler alert, please evacuate the area now. Okay? If you haven't, shame on you. Okay, first of all, Logan is loosely based on Old Man Logan, written by Mark Millar. Very loosely based. So, if you're going in thinking that this movie is based on that Old Man Logan, you're going to be upset. Okay? So the first thing I want to say is the movie is very linear to me, very in a straight line. It took no risk whatsoever. And it goes back to the same thing we used to talk about Batman. It was like, in every Batman origin, every Batman story, they always talk about what? The origin of Batman, the death of his parents. Mm-hmm. To me, Logan did the same exact thing with Wolverine. Every time the people I love I hang around, something bad happens. Do something different. This is the last effing movie. Hugh Jackman's playing Wolverine. Why play it safe? Do something different. And I see your eyes crinkling up, but it's the same old bullcrap. They played the same exact thing. I knew exactly what was going to happen in that movie within the first 15 minutes. Everything worked just like clockwork. One
Drew's face. Oh my goodness.
I'm hearing it out. Hearing it out. I got
one of the
main
things. There was a main thing in the movie, and they carried this all the way to the end. So I'm going to start with this first. He had an adamantium bullet, made out of the same things his claws are made out of. And supposedly he walked around with this bullet if he wanted to kill himself. Right now, if you look in X-Men Origins, he was shot in the head twice by the bullet. It didn't kill him. So why would you run around with that bullet knowing it's not going to kill you? Now, it might scramble. Hold on a second.
All right.
It might scramble your brains up. No, it might scramble
the adamantium bullet.
He was shot twice in the head in X-Men Origins, and he just lost the camera.
Yeah, he got shot twice in the head by an adamantium bullet in the movie that no one gives a crap about.
But it doesn't matter.
Hold
on. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
I'm going to tell you right now why it does matter, Charles.
No, it doesn't.
Because we've already watched the X-Men timeline spiral.
There is no timeline in those movies.
What?
There is no timeline in those movies. The timelines in those movies
yeah, exactly. You just said it for me. There is no timeline, so to get hung up on something
still don't make sense.
Not acknowledged
it doesn't make sense.
It
doesn't make sense.
The whole X-Men mythos doesn't make sense in the film. So
and another thing, it's impossible, and you can't tell me that it doesn't affect people. They say, "Oh yeah, watch these movies, and it doesn't affect anything." Forget everything else that you saw. It's easy to say that, but for people that have watched these movies for the last 15 years, how are you going to get those memories out your head? Even when I'm trying to say, okay, forget all this stuff, that stuff still pops in and out of your head while you're watching a movie. That made no sense to me. That made absolutely no sense. And then they had certain things from other timelines in there, like they mentioned that he was a cage fighter. Xavier mentioned that. They mentioned the whole episode from, with the Statue of Liberty. So it's like they pick and choose what they want to put in, and then they tell you, oh, yeah, we'll put this in, but forget about everything else. So it's like...
Welcome to the wide, bizarre world of comic book films when they're adapted. That's how that goes. There are films. No, there's film series where you sit up there and you have years. The Halloween movies, the Michael Myers movies, this is decades worth of canon that they choose to either acknowledge or ignore outright. To get hung up on the idea that, they just, in the crappy movie that no one acknowledges as being Wolverine canon, he gets shot twice in the head with a crappy adamantium bullet that gives him magical memory loss. Let's consider that. We didn't want to think about it before, but let's consider it now in this other movie that's actually good. Like, it doesn't go that route. When it comes to this film, okay, I have to say, I'm just going to say it outright. Charles, you're going to be mad at me, but all right, whatever. This, to me, is one of, if not the best X-Men film made, period.
Oh,
because when it comes to your gripe with the story, okay, from a point A to point B standpoint, they don't give you a bunch of twists and turns and plot changes and motivation changes. No, because it's not that sort of story. It's an epilogue for a character that we've watched for, like you just said, 15 friggin' years of seeing us watch this character go and be a badass. A
lot of that stuff was written was trash before. To me, when I saw Wolverine, the action was good. But even when I saw the action, it was like, okay, that's what Wolverine should have been doing a long time ago. So when I did see him cutting off an arm, cutting off a leg, cutting off someone's head, it was cool. But it was like, why now? Why did you have to wait till he's old to do it? So to me, it was like nothing in that movie surprised me, because that was stuff that should have been done years ago.
Okay, so you're saying, all right, you guys fail outright. Forget you guys actually putting your best foot forward for his final chapter. You should have been given the same degree. No. It's not the fact that you guys ended on a strong note. It's the fact that you guys didn't give me that strong note. I don't think
the note was strong. I don't.
I beg to differ, because when it comes to Logan as a character,
there was nothing in that movie besides the action. Again, snatching bits and pieces from timelines, again, telling you, ignore this, accept that. As a writer, to me, this doesn't make any sense.
All right, well, let me defuse that whole it brought nothing until besides action thing right now, because, quite frankly, this movie took 3 characters, Laura, Logan, and Charles Xavier.
And Xavier didn't need to be in the movie.
No, and they gave them 3 very, what I feel, strong and distinct arcs. It was Logan learning to become a father and learning to accept himself, right? It was this girl, Laura, who had no family, who lost her family, found another one, and then she proceeds to become the self-actualization. She is the next generation of Wolverine that we have in this canon. And then you have Charles, who, I'm sorry, I just got back from watching this movie a second time. If you felt nothing for the fact that this character, who we've watched for 15 years, who tutored, mentored, cared for these kids, because the X-Men are his kids, and when you learn that he is the reason that they died, because that's what that was in the movie, right? Those seizures that you had when you started having brain.
I know this. You know that. But your average person that would go see that movie wouldn't even know. They wouldn't know.
I think
because they never went into it.
No, the point that I'm getting at, though, before we lose train of thought.
They touched on it, but they never.
They did more than. They gave an entire scene, Charles. There's a whole scene just like
they barely touched on that thing. Xavier's character, he didn't need to even be in there. To me, he floated around.
You want to know why? Look at how Logan and Laura react to each other when Charles isn't there. He's the connective tissue for their relationship.
Dude, you could have had they could have pulled any X-Men character and made them be the connective tissue, technically, in that movie.
Actually, you know what? Interesting.
Yes, you could have.
There was a whole backstory that was supposed to be. There was a whole backstory that was supposed to be in there with Xavier that they took out, I heard.
Yeah,
there was like a subplot that wasn't necessary.
Loaded through the movie. It was nothing concrete. It was splotchy here, splotchy there. To me, it just didn't work.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. How was the girl in the film, the little girl?
Oh, she whooped some ass. She whooped some ass. I give her credit. The action scenes were phenomenal. But even with the girl, again, it was just, to me, everything just seemed rushed. Okay, we're going to put this, we're going to put this, we're going to put that, just to rush it through.
What movie did you watch, Charles? Did you watch
I was not impressed by the movie, dude.
There's like a 15 to 20 minute scene of them hanging out with this family that they meet, where they sit up there.
That was garbage. That scene was garbage.
Because, God forbid they actually stopped to let you feel something as a viewer, as opposed to him just running around cutting crap up for 2 hours.
I knew. Listen.
You can't be human. You can't be just a beast. It's like you.
No.
Come on.
Well, hold on a second. All right. So up until this point, now I gotta ask, CC, are you going to see it or not see it based on what you heard today?
I'm most definitely going to see it based on the overall. I mean, I was gonna see it anyway, based on the overall consensus, I'm definitely gonna have to see it for myself. Mm-hmm. To be fair to both of their points, It's not like lately the X-Men movie bar has been set very high. So I think that this is something that fans, were longing for. And that's kind of why this movie is, so refreshing based on the reviews that I've heard. So there is this like desirability. Even when every movie came out, it was like when the last one was crappy, you just kind of like disregarded all the stuff that happened before it because you just wanted so bad to like start anew. And I think that it's indicative of the like not conflict, but how X-Men was taken back and forth between Marvel and Fox, and the storyline's kind of been compromised because of it. And it's really unfortunate because it had the opportunity to overall be a really, 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 it should have been a better series than it was.
And this is not for kids, right? To be clear.
No,
This,
no.
No, it's too.
it's rated. Yeah, it's rated R for a reason. The funny thing about that is I'm in the theater and I'm watching this family walking and they got their 3 little kids with, and I'm just like, so when you see rated R on the thing, you're getting your ticket, do you just like, is it just selective, sight all of a sudden? Because then the same family, 20 minutes in, like after the first scene, the one little kid's crying because, oh my God, Wolverine actually stabs people in the face with those things? Yes, Jimmy, he does. Okay? So that was one. And then it's like they walk out all huffed with themselves. Oh my God, I can't believe he brought us this. I'm like, dude, it was rated R. What did you think?
Right.
but it's X-Men.
So, the
same thing with Deadpool,
Yeah, they had people that were trying to bring their kids into Deadpool. But overall, I have probably the dynamic opposite of your opinion, Charles. Because as far as the film goes, I feel that it was paced slow, but slow with a purpose. They actually make you feel things as opposed to just watching him and run around in a tank top, cutting crap up, which is what I know a lot of people just expected this whole last act to be. When it came to sending the character off, what was killing him was the adamantium itself.
I know that.
Right? So the idea is that the thing that makes him unique is the same exact thing that's killing him. And then you have this passing of the torch from him to this damaged little girl who's a freaking G. Like the girl that plays.
I know she has the attitude. She does. She
had the personality down. She had those beats. But you see this gradual relationship form between this old defeated character and this young kid that has no idea what the hell she's doing, but she just knows that she's driven by a purpose to find family. That's the whole theme of the movie, is people finding family and your raison d'etre. Charles Xavier is basically just like, after realizing, oh my God, I killed my kids. He's just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done. It's madness and exile and defeat for me. And that's what I'm going to do. So he sits up there as an empath and just focuses on that, his self-defeat, and it drives him crazy. This girl coming into his life after all these years, 25 years, there hadn't been another mutant born, right? This little girl comes in and changes everything. It gives him a reason to live. To sit up there and look at that and then be like, well, I didn't feel anything out of that. After watching him go this whole freaking journey. This whole journey. I'm just like,
man.
where's your soul?
This is the stuff that doesn't make sense. If you take even with Will Munson, that was Eric Lascelles' character, the minute they stopped and helped them with the horses, I said they're already marked for death.
They're marked for death, yeah.
They're going to die. I knew that.
Yeah.
So that was no surprise when that whole thing happened. That was the same thing that happened in the origin of Wolverine when he went to the family. Father gives him his son's jacket in the motorcycle.
That we didn't want to talk about.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Years ago,
but it's the same. It's the same darn. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Where
Charles,
it's like
you can't take a character-driven you can't take a character-driven film that just so happens to have superheroes in it and then compare it to the Hollywood film that was supposed to be just about superheroes that had nothing in it whatsoever. Let's take a piece of the diamond and then weigh it against a piece of crap.
And to tell people to forget about all that stuff again, they're not going to do it. That's just like telling a fighter, you get your butt kicked in the ring really bad and you go into your next fight, don't think about it. You're going to think about it.
Okay, you want to know how I refute that outright? Because if that's the case, and we just all simply are just innately in tune to never forget any other film that we've ever seen, right? Christopher Nolan's Batman film should have made 0 sense, and Ben Affleck should not have been what he was in Batman v Superman.
Well, if you take a look at
all these films into consideration, regardless, on some subconscious level, and we can't dissociate from that, then...
That last one was a big mistake.
Well, any of those Batman films.
the round out, the last one that Christopher Nolan did, he's like, this is my final one. The ending, a lot of stuff was terrible.
If that's the case, then
Most
it goes
of the Batman films weren't any good. All those Batman films through like the 2000s were just a mockery of the Batman character. They were the one with Mr. Freeze when you had what's that other guy play him?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger. That one was trash. You had the whole with Alicia Silverstone. That was garbage. You had the guy that played in The Saint, Val Kilmer. That was no good. Those movies were not.
No. So let's play with your own line of logic then, Charles. Okay, so those movies, the Joel Schumacher era, okay? Pick a part for me that you liked out of the Nolan or even Batman v Superman, whatever best iteration that you thought.
My favorite scene out of any of these new Batman movies was the fight scene in the warehouse when Ben Affleck was fighting those men. To me, that was one of the best Batman fight scenes in any of his movies ever.
But Charles, that had nothing to do with the crappy Batman and Robin movie.
It doesn't matter. That's the scene I like. That's the scene I like.
Man.
But I still don't look when I go to these movies. I still don't get all those other crappy Batman movies that were made.
Well, and also to be fair, like each of those directors that did a Batman movie in the 90s, or should I say from 89 to the 90s, some of them were going more for the TV, the 60s version. Some were going more for the comic book early era. Some were going for the comic book the later era. So it's almost hard to compare. It's just this whole concept of gritty and realism.
Different iterations.
It's
the same rule applies. If you're gonna sit up there and have a movie that everyone unanimously agreed was crap, and that they've even gone so far as to just discredit it in other films, okay? You can't then use that as a marker for, well, this is exactly like this, especially when it aims to be something that's completely freaking different.
Also,
film, and it's a superhero film a distant second, and it's
that was probably one of the best parts of the movie was the Deadpool trailer.
That was a pretty solid intro. The whole movie was freaking like on the charts, like excellent. But that's all right, Charles. It's cool. I'll get you caught up.
I think probably one of the best parts of the movie was the Deadpool trailer at the very beginning.
Well, I was gonna ask you guys about that. How was the Deadpool trailer? What was that about?
Typical Deadpool.
Was it good?
It was well, did you not see the trailers of it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, all right, spoiler alert, too late now. Deadpool basically is doing him. He's walking down the street. He sees this old man being robbed in an alleyway, and he's all, not on my watch, and he runs and busts a Superman to the phone booth, and it takes him like a minute and a half.
Maybe more.
Meanwhile, you hear the poor man in the alleyway shouting for somebody to help him. And then right as Deadpool gets his suit on, you hear, bop, the gunshot, and Deadpool just has this look, he's like, oh, crap. And he rushes out, and the old man is dead, and he's just, doing him. It was it was pretty out there. It's in keeping and standing with the whole Deadpool style, so that will be fun. They did have a cool little Easter egg on the phone, on the telephone booth that says Nathan Summers is coming, but spelled in the wrong way. You know the other way that I'm talking about. That was pretty neat. Seeing that there, and then it just dips right into the movie. So I thought that little teaser trailer for the film was rad.
Oh, by the way, also a little Han Solo information. The rumor is Michael K. Williams might be playing Han Solo's villain. So in case you...
What was he in? Oh, this guy. I know that guy.
Oh.
I know that dude.
All right.
Play a good villain.
I think he'll make a good villain.
He can be very what are the shoes on Boardwalk Empire, right? I feel like they completely underutilized him in that show. When I did see him, I was like, oh man, what's this guy up to? And then it's back onto the other stuff.
Also,
there's actually a couple things I want to add.
Wait, are you going back? No, you can't go back. No, let it go.
Dude, come on.
Let a brother speak.
Let him go, man.
After watching this movie, I appreciate the Netflix stuff a little bit more. I'm going to tell you why. The power of Netflix in these shows, Luke Cage, Daredevil, you have the power to fix stuff. Unlike a movie, once it's done, it's done. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like when you're doing these series, man, if you listen to the writing, you listen to the fans, whatever. You're not going to be able to fix everything, but it gives you more creative freedom than doing a movie. Once the movie's up, it's done. You really can't fix much of anything. I noticed with Netflix,
try to make like a little slick director's cut, but typically once you put that out there for the masses,
yeah.
it's there.
And with Netflix, man, if something's a little bit off, you know, you can take and tune it up next season or whatever. So I'm telling you right now, the Netflix series, as far as with these superheroes, man, it's hard to touch them now. I believe it's going to be very hard to touch these guys.
I guess, but I feel like your method, Charles, you know what it is? You have a person that has a C average in a class. Yeah, they've gotten between B's, C's, D's, and maybe an F or two.
No.
And then think you're going to take the 1A paper and then be like, well, this had parts that I liked, but overall, this should have been happening
my favorite,
at the beginning of the semester.
Going back with the whole Batman thing, still one of my favorite Batman movies is the original one. The original one. The original one back in 1989, 1990. That was still probably
60s one.
60s.
Running with the bomb.
I like that was...
And then if you want to talk about real talk, Charles. I never thought it was the greatest thing ever. At the end of the day, talk about oversimplification of a character. The Joker was just a thug who wanted to retire. Basically. He wanted to get married and retire. That's not the character. So I could rip it apart for that by itself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, that's my problem with the Nolan, his last ones, Nolan one, because that same 1960s Batman, where the end he's running everywhere with the bomb and throws it over the bay. They did that same thing in the last. It was how many times is Batman gonna be running at the end of something with a bomb? I mean, it's been used to death to the point that Superdog.
Well, it did have parts that I really did enjoy.
Oh, sorry, Underdog. Same concept. Only thing is he ran with the bomb underneath the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so right.
Oh.
That's so true.
Yeah, just take and move that.
Hold on a second.
Was Wonder Woman? How do you jump?
Wonder Woman.
Because I'm trying to move a little light. You guys are getting all emotional and crap.
I was trying to talk about The Expanse.
Nobody
believes
we're going to
sci-fi.
talk about the movie tonight. Not like try to pepper in a few other different things that are completely not related to what we're hyped about. Like,
Wonder Woman trailer, they're going to drop next week. So let's pray they don't give away the whole movie.
I know. Drain.
So there's a new one that came out as of when?
It's supposed to come out. That's the rumor. There's supposed to be another Wonder Woman's trailer next week.
I'm gonna avoid it. I'm gonna try to not watch it because the first trailer that we saw, or was it the second one? It told me everything that I needed to know. And at this point, DC needs to regain ground with me. So the less I see from them on that, just give me a good movie, and then we'll move on from there.
First of all, how could they have another Wonder Woman trailer when Wonder Woman doesn't even show until October, and they haven't even released another Justice League trailer yet? I'm feeling a little some type of way
that might be a good thing because it means they're actually trying to be focused on, instead of advertising and trying to sell everybody toys before the movie comes out, they're trying to make a good freaking movie for a change.
Yeah, that's true. But what are you gonna save for the moviegoers? You know.
Please forgive us here. We'll make it better by not giving you crap on a silver plate.
Well, the good thing is there's no backstory that they have to follow up on. Well, I guess the Justice League and then
they do.
Batman
they're gonna. Yeah, I'm assuming from what I've gathered thus far about the Justice League film, it takes place after the events of Batman v Superman, sometime after, and it pretty much picks up with Batman and Wonder Woman trying to find the other metahumans, like how they said in the last one. At this point, we know what the jump off will be. After this, though, it's like, okay, now how do you integrate all the alien crap that you guys said? Because Steppenwolf apparently is going to be the villain in Justice League, which I think is a weird choice.
Yeah.
So, and they're trying to hint that they're going to go with Darkseid, which is what they said they were going to do years and years ago, if you guys care to remember. They had that first god-awful script for Justice League that had Darkseid announced as the main villain, and this coincided with Thanos being the main villain in Marvel, so it's like, all right, that's too similar. Let's just go add some other crap and then switch it up. And then that's why the film got delayed for time number 3. And so we'll see. I'll give it a shot. I don't know. Yeah. Give me something that I can actually fully enjoy this time instead of having to cherry pick.
Yeah.
Cuts out the parts that I don't think is pure garbage, you know?
Yeah, I just hope they don't give away. I hope 2 things. They don't give away too much of Wonder Woman. And I hope that they don't focus so much on Wonder Woman that Justice League is crap. you know.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
mean, they might,
possible?
because, yeah, they might because
don't
at this
know, man.
point she was the big for a lot of people. I felt that she was
Yeah.
completely unnecessary in Batman v Superman. But the takeaway from Batman v Superman was, oh my God, look at how badass she is.
Yeah.
And she was. She just didn't have a purpose or a point being in that movie. And now it's like we have to hype her up because we haven't seen her in a film yet
Right,
of this magnitude and give her the shine that she deserves, which is fine. I just hope that they don't go the whole, this one character. Let's just all rally behind this one character and focus on what she's doing. And through the sheer, Deus Ex Machina power of girl power crap, she's going to win everything for us. I hope they don't do that. I hope it's more of a team effort. And I don't know. At this point, we're kind of just waiting in the dark.
Well, Charles, here's something you might like to hear because you're also a musician. There's a rumor that Ice Cube is going to do the voice of Miles Morales' father in the new animated version of Spider-Man.
Oh,
that's dope.
If he's going to be like a wholesome, almost Huxtable type of dad, I'll buy it because all he does is family films and stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could go either way.
Not even Shot 5, but he went from being Ice Cube of NWA to Ice Cube in our family vacation movie number 3.
Yeah.
I can see him as being somebody's dad. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he could do that.
Gotta grow up sometime, you know.
He can do that.
Making his loop these days.
Right?
Armie Hammer is and it's Armie, not Armin Hammer. He's
Army.
It's Army. Well, that's even worse.
I know. I had to look it up because I was pronouncing it wrong when I heard him after the what was it, the cowboy movie that he was in?
Mm-hmm.
That was Lone Ranger. That was,
Long Range. Oh.
And I'm like, please tell me this dude isn't named after Arm & Hammer. It's Army Hammer.
Army. Do you think he might? Do you think it's beyond a rumor? He actually could play Green Lantern.
As which one? Hal Jordan again? Because I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to go with Jon Stewart this time around, just because for diversity's sake and the fact that we're kind of tired of seeing the same iteration of the Green Lantern over and over again in these films.
Get messed up at that.
I wish they would actually go with Guy Gardner or Kyle Rayner. Because Guy Gardner is such an alpha male 90s douche that it's like seeing him with this group of, I'd say, pretty proactive people, Just see him just be there. He's an effective member of the team, but he's kind of a dick. That would be good. Nice, like, back and forth,
All right.
I think that's it. We didn't get nearly as deep into Wolverine as Logan as we did, but
That's for your sake, man.
Hey,
Just
you can't see. No, just because there's layers and you can't get to those layers, Charles, doesn't make it a bad movie. It's all
You're
right.
such a novel writer, and you are such a comic book writer. I swear.
Well, on that note, thank you very much, Charles. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, CC. I'm 7. Check us out next week live on Eclectica. Have a good one. Have a good night. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We out.
Yeah.
Yeah.